Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, coming to you just after a Thanksgiving week for all our American viewers and listeners, and lots of great football on Thursday. I PVR'd them, so I got to see them after work, which was great. I didn't know really the results, which was kind of amazing, but yeah, you had an extended nice week off. How did you feel with your 5 days off?
Felt great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it just felt like it went so fast. Like where I was just like, I know I had extra days off, but then I'm back to work on Monday. I'm like, it didn't feel like it was that long. It just didn't feel like it. Like it was just like, wow.
That's too bad. Did you chill mostly or?
Yeah, man. Basically slept in, got my sleep, caught up on sleep, I should say more importantly. Was able to see some friends here and there, but basically just chilled. It was good.
Yeah. Well, the weather's been holding off, but I hear we have snow coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not thrilled to hear about that. I'm not a fan of snow. I doubt you are either.
Not a fan. I think though that it's snow that's not going to stay.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
That is good. Yeah. We're doing this in the midst of the Monday Night Football game. Pittsburgh Steelers just went up again. 20, I think it's 22-16. Is that right? No, 22-17. Within an extra point coming, and Pittsburgh dominated that first half. Holy cow, it was crazy how Colts couldn't do anything, and then Colts came out in the second half and they've made a game of it. They're going for two here. Pittsburgh got about 10 minutes left, and they're trying to make it 24-17. Kenny Pickett taking it, flushed out of the pocket and found he found Pickens in the corner, 2-point convert. So yeah, Pittsburgh's got a 7-point lead with 9:55 left in the fourth quarter. I love this Pickett kid. They really did a good job getting him. I know, they're only 3-7 on the year, having their struggles, but I like his scrambling ability. I like his vision, and I'm impressed by him when I get to see extended games of the Steelers.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with the connection that he's already beginning to build with Pickens.
Yeah,
Pickens combination, and also too, like you can see potential in him.
Yeah,
you can see real potential with this kid, as opposed to the guy that looks like a child, Zach Wilson for the Jets.
Yeah.
Where the last time I saw him play, I'm just like, there's no potential here. There's nothing here.
Yeah. Well, the Jets made a good move and benched Mike White looked great this weekend, and that was a move that should have been made probably weeks ago. But Pickett's numbers, 19 for 27, 168 yards, and also he's got 34 yards on the ground himself. Pickens, him and Pickett are college teammates, so really smart for the Steelers to get the guys so they know each other well. They've got a couple of touchdowns on the ground, Barry Snell Jr. and Najee Harris, and oh my God, Matt Ryan had 27 passing yards in that first half, net passing yards. They were just balling him up, giving him so much pressure. He was not looking good, but in the second half, he's done quite well and come back. I was shocked at how stifling the Steelers defense was in that first half.
Yeah, I was shocked as well. But actually, you know what? The one thing I'm more shocked at is the fact that the Colts are playing hard and well.
Yeah,
with like their new head coach Jeff Saturday, that's never coached anywhere on any level ever. But they're playing well. Like
they look like they're inspired. They look like they're actually in every game, and I think a lot of people are shocked because they didn't expect much from Saturday coming in with no experience. And but yeah, he's been able to rally the troops, and they look like they're playing hard football and playing quite well.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing hard for him, which is you got to give him his flowers, man. Like I wasn't expecting that.
No,
Wasn't expecting that.
no. Yeah, Matt Ryan's numbers now 16 for 26, 142 yards and a touchdown. He did throw a pick early on. Jonathan Taylor, 17 carries, 78 yards and a TD. Jelani Woods, career high, 7 catches, career high, 81 yards. Pittman's got the touchdown, and yeah, this should be a good fun game to watch going down the stretch. Yeah, I want to get into the NFL story, but I do want to mention a couple of things over the weekend. I had a really fun evening on Saturday in Kitsilano here, just down the street from me at the Russian Hall. Do you know where the Russian Hall on 4th, close to Arbutus?
Yes.
Remember that one? Yeah. They decided they would have stand-up comedy nights there. Now, I guess they used to have them in Mount Pleasant, and they got shuffled out. They want to build a nice high-rise there. They decided they would kick the comedians out, and so they decided to book this Russian Hall, and it was completely sold out. Hundreds of people there. There was 4 comedians with a host. Pretty good comedians, except the headliner was hilarious. Oh my God. And I do not know the guy's name. I've been searching and searching for days to try to find his name out so I could contact him. I'd love to have him on a podcast, but man, we were laughing uncontrollably. I was looking around and everybody was just in stitches with this guy. He was super, super funny. And yeah, it really was a really good part of the weekend. After last weekend we had a bit of a dud, this one was great. I was really happy we went out.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. And it just makes everything better when you go to a comedy show and the comedians are actually, good.
Yeah. The host was hilarious. He said he's been hosting for 10 years, so he should be hilarious. But yeah, the stand or the headliner guy, man, just loved it. Really, really great. Anybody listening that wants to check it out, it's called Jokes Please, and I think it's a couple of weekends a month here in Kitsilano. I think they have another place in East Vancouver somewhere where they do the other alternate weeks, I guess. And but yeah, I highly recommend it. It was like $20, and yeah, great night. I did also want to mention how yesterday was a historic day in Canadian sports. There was our World Cup Canadian soccer team was playing, trying to get a victory and trying to advance in the World Cup of soccer. And Canada was also playing in the Davis Cup tournament in tennis, 120-year-old tournament, the Davis Cup, and we won it for the first time in Canadian history. We beat Australia, who had won the title 28 times before, and we had only been to the championship just one time in 2019, losing to Spain. This was our second appearance in the final, and we got the victory. It was very, very, very awesome. Great to see. Amazing how much Canadian tennis has really risen up the ranks, and yeah, we're becoming a world powerhouse. And it was fun for any tennis fans. One of the greatest moments in Canadian history.
And it's awesome to know that we can actually excel at other sports other than just hockey.
Yeah,
totally good at other sports other than just hockey.
Yeah,
that's
totally. Cool. Yeah. The World Cup soccer, super anticipated, much talked about. Everybody was really getting excited about it and wanting to see Canada finally in it. We had a 36-year drought from our first World Cup appearance. We finally made it back. We had a heartbreaking loss in the opening game against Belgium, and we lost 1-0, where we actually outplayed them and had many more opportunities to score. In our second game, we got a goal just over a minute into the game. Alfonso Davies, former Whitecap, former Lower Mainland resident here, gets the opening goal. First goal ever scored by a Canadian men's player in the World Cup, and it was so exciting. I could hear people celebrating all over the country, and then we didn't do very well after that. We lost 4-1. We are knocked out of the tournament. We do have one more game to play this week against Morocco, but even if we win, it doesn't matter. We've been eliminated because of the results of the other teams in our group. It was fun. It was exciting. The rest of the tournament's going to be fun. I'm going to check out a bunch of it, but nice to see Canada there. Nice to see all these watch parties all over here at the Hollywood Theater. They sold out the tickets, 600 people every game, and it's been fun, but really too bad that they couldn't get a result and couldn't advance past this opening round.
Well, the second team that they played was Croatia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big ask.
Yeah.
Big ask.
Yeah. Croatia was the runner-up last World Cup. They finished second, and it was a big ask for sure. Yeah, it was super exciting. Very cool to score that goal right away, and you started thinking, wow, maybe they could do this, but Croatia flexed their muscles and kicked their butt, and that was it. Disappointing that you only get a couple of kicks at the can, and if you don't win those first two games, you're out of it. The great thing about the World Cup going forward, though, is we are in already. We've qualified for 2026 because we are one of the host nations. So we get to have the World Cup here. It's a weird bid that was a conglomerate with all three North American countries. US, Mexico, and Canada are all hosting the World Cup 2026. There will be 80 games played in the tournament. US will get 60, Canada will get 10, and Mexico will get 10. I don't know who decided to put this kind of bid together and why it ended up being this way, but it's kind of nice. We already know we're in. There will be probably about 2 or 3 games here in Vancouver and across the country. It's going to be great that it's here. And I think because of the success we had getting there this time, I think it will be huge when it arrives in 2026.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be massive. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I think that's a really smart play by all three countries, just to spread the cost, because obviously it's super expensive.
Yeah,
like Qatar just going weird and crazy and just being like, hey, we're just gonna build all these stadiums and never use them ever again. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, me and you last couple weeks, and it's probably, you're right. That is good thought that we can spread the cost around, and it's I guess they say we're going to be spending about 240 to 260 million, but they think it will bring in about $1 billion in revenue. So money well spent if you can, have a month where you spend $250,000 and get $1 billion. I'd like to sign up for that.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's smart. That's smart business right there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Can't wait for that. Obviously, I'm gonna try to go to games in all three countries. I'd love to see it in Mexico. I'd love to see some games in the States. There's gonna be spread out. This will be the first tournament that it ever has 48 teams. It's only been 32 for the rest of the World Cups. So this will be the first time it's been extra expanded, and that's why there'll be 80 games, and it'll be fun. For that Belgium game, I went and watched it and enjoyed myself a ton. And I ran into a guy that you might be familiar with, who we're going to do a podcast with tomorrow night. He's an actor, stuntman, stunt coordinator, and the former mascot of the Vancouver Grizzlies, Trevor Jones. Do you know Trevor?
I think I've met him once or twice. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. So I ran into him. We chatted a little bit. I said, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and he said, "Sounds awesome to me." So we're gonna do it tomorrow night about the same time we're doing this, and yeah, keep your eye out for it. I'll post it probably tomorrow evening, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun conversation. The guy's done a lot. He is a super well-rounded guy. He's been in about 150 movie and TV productions, and he's yeah, really fun, very cool personality, and it's gonna be a blast.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be great. It's great. That was a great get on your part, managing to get him.
Yeah, he's yeah. Okay, well, why don't we talk about week 12 in the NFL? It has been it was a little weird because you had those 3 games on Thursday, so there was less on the Sunday, but those games were fun to watch on Thursday. Enjoyed them a ton. We'll get into a lot from yesterday, but I want to start with my hero of the week. Just get it out of the way right away, and maybe you'll have some people to throw into the consideration, but I'm going to throw Josh Jacobs into the mix and say he's my hero of the week. An absolute amazing performance by Josh Jacobs. He carried the ball 33 times for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also caught the ball 6 times for 74 yards. And his 86-yard scamper to the end zone in overtime got the victory for the Raiders over the Seahawks, and sent those Seahawks fans home fairly unhappy. It was absolute masterful performance by Jacobs. He just couldn't be stopped all game.
Yeah, he was a man possessed. He played like a man possessed. He was incredible. And the game itself was incredible as well. Like that,
that was one of my favorite games of the weekend. Yeah.
Super fun. Yeah, they kept trading blows, going back and forth. You know, like and I love the way that Seattle, they just kept fighting.
Yeah,
and it's like they kept trying to win that game. Like, as much as the Raiders won that game, that's why I don't believe that Seattle actually lost that game. The Raiders took it away and won that game. Yeah. And they won it because that guy was a possessed human being, Jacobs.
Yeah.
Really, that entire game.
Yeah, he was awesome. They really just put the whole game on his back, and he delivered. That final run was just crazy. There was an incident that happened in that Seahawks game that made me laugh. It was kind of weird. I'm gonna actually make the guy the zero of the week. First play of the game, Derek Carr snaps the ball, fades back and looks for a receiver, throws it across the middle, and it gets picked off. Quandre Diggs picks it off and starts returning. Darrell Taylor, backup linebacker, not starting in the game, decides he's going to run onto the field and throw some blocks to try to get Quandre into the end zone. He was the 12th man, who the Seahawks usually, say that all their fans are. Well, he decided to run on the field and throw a few blocks and try to help Quandre get into the end zone. Officials didn't notice. Nobody seemed to notice. He ran out on the field and just started getting guys out of the way, trying his best. Then he went, oh shit. Then he ran back off the field and nobody noticed. I think there's going to be a fine. I think the NFL is probably aware of what he did, but I laughed. I couldn't believe it. And then later on in the game, I was thinking to myself, Quandre Diggs picked the ball off a second time, and I thought, where's Darrell Taylor? Where is he? Where is he coming out again? Then I thought, when Jacobs got that ball and started running across the middle, that would have been the time to run on the field and just tackle him in open field. There was no Seahawk in sight, and all said, hey, Taylor, oh, he tackled him. What would have happened? Do you think Do you think they would have actually just given him the touchdown if a guy runs out on the field like that? What would happen? Do they just say automatic?
Ah, something like that would have to happen because all of a sudden Jacobs would be blindside tackled by somebody out of nowhere where nobody was supposed to be. And all of a sudden, James like, "Am I getting tackled? By who?"
Yeah.
Come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh no, something would come down. Yeah, I don't think you could, as an NFL officials, be like, "Well, I guess he's down by cut." No, man, that guy wasn't even supposed to be on the field. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
I think they would have to probably implement that, or there'd be so many guys standing on the sideline just waiting to run on, even though I might get a 15-yard penalty, but at least I'll stop him from the touchdown,
Yeah.
and so but it made me laugh. Did you hear about it or did you notice it when it happened early in the game that game?
I didn't even notice it. I know the play that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice this guy just kind of look like this and sneak onto the field and throw. No, because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. It's
Yeah.
never happened. I
And,
can't
and it
remember
just
any player.
blew me away that the officials didn't even notice. And
Wow.
then
Yeah.
yeah, I checked it. I checked. I wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. He wasn't just lining up on the far side. As a linebacker, I know where you're lining up, but he
Yeah.
was on the sideline, and I watched a bunch of replays, and he was just standing there and just suddenly just ran on. It was so funny. It made me laugh, and I kept thinking about it the whole entire game. Like, I wonder how often we're gonna see this guy. He wants to play so bad. Come
Bad.
on,
Yeah.
Pete, put me in. Put me in. What are you doing? Look,
Well,
I told you I could throw some blocks.
well, I think he just looks at Pete and just goes, "I'm going in. I don't need you to tell me I'm going in. I'm going in."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was awesome, man. It was I gotta call him a zero of the week because he can't do that, but he made me laugh, and it was one of those super funny moments that happens every once in a while in football. Some of the other honorable mentions I want to give is, man, one-handed catches are just becoming so phenomenal in the league here. That David Njoku catch in the back of the end zone for the Browns, like that
Woo!
was amazing, amazing grab. Brissett just threw a laser, and I don't know how Njoku brought that down. That was one of the best catches I've ever seen.
Yeah, he snatched that out of the air, and it didn't move once he caught it. Sometimes you can no, man, stick him, pop, and then that was it, done,
Yeah,
touchdown. Also, too, I want to say, you talk about one-handed catches,
yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh man, I know. I was gonna mention that too. Can you believe how he made that catch?
Yeah,
He was sideways. It was so
great.
far from his body, and it
Yeah,
was right at the corner. And somehow he was able to scoop it in with one hand and bring it into himself.
yeah.
That was miraculous. You had to watch it 2 or 3 times from different angles to actually see how he made the catch. It was incredible.
Well, yeah, because at first when I was watching the play, I was like, what are they talking about? Did he make that catch? Like I wasn't like I didn't think he made the catch.
No, it
And
didn't
then I
seem
was
like
just
he
like,
could have. It didn't
yeah,
seem like
no,
he actually even could have, because it
yeah,
was right at the defensive player, and he was laying out. He was, parallel with the ground,
yeah.
and somehow he reaches out far out and brings it in. I was like, holy crap! That was another one that was just miraculous. And he's famous for
Oh
incredible
yeah,
catches. Always has been.
yeah,
Devontae Adams had an amazing one,
yep. Sideline
one-handed,
catch.
where his one hand was completely being held by the defensive player, and he just cradled it, was able
Yep.
to get it before he went out of bounds there. That was another one that just like, spectacular. These guys are putting on incredible and athletic feats every single week like this, but those three stood out for me this weekend.
Oh yeah, those three catches were just absolutely amazing. And sometimes you got to pinch yourself because you're just like, wow, these guys are just that good.
I
They're
know.
that good to
Yeah,
make these catches like that.
it's so fun, and it's one of the reasons why NFL is so massively popular, because you've got such high level athletes, and they can just make some of these incredible catches. You see the quarterback scrambling and then throws it, and you think, no way he's going to bring that down, and they do week after week. We're seeing guys making 10, 11, 12 catches for 150 yards, and 3 or 4 of them are a spectacular fashion.
Yeah. They're doing this and they're making it look easy. Making it look easy.
I know. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay. We've been kind of following a format last little while. Why don't we do that as well? This week, we'll start in the NFC East, and we'll talk about the top team in the NFL right now. Still, Eagles are led by Jalen Hurts, and man, they had an absolutely incredible running attack. They were able to get a huge win over the Packers and continue up there at 10-1. And man, the Eagles are fun team to watch. I was just stunned at how good Hurts was, and setting another record for the Philadelphia Eagles, most running yards ever by a quarterback. And they had Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick there. That was the most offensive rushing yards in a Philadelphia game in 74 years. And they were able to just have their way there with the Packers, winning big 40-33. We talked about that Seahawks game, which was awesome. This game was a classic too. Two powerhouses going after each other, and the Eagles were able to get the win.
Yeah, the Eagles were able to get the win, and obviously it was their rushing attack that led the way. Like even Sanders, 21 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you're like, oh, so he was the leading rusher? No, he wasn't. Quarterback was.
Yeah.
With 63 carries, 157 yards, and then another 153 yards with 2 touchdowns through the air. Like, yeah, man, the Eagles are for real.
Yeah,
for real, man. They are the real deal.
This team is amazing. And most defenses have been really trying to stop the passing attack, and rushing attack has become a secondary option for most offenses. So defenses are, starting to get the guys in place that can stop the pass. And if a team can rush the ball this well, look out. I think Super Bowl bound, and they could have another Super Bowl in Philly very easily this year with the rushing attack that amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I don't think there's any other team that runs the ball better than they do. Their rushing attack is just exemplary. It's second to none. And they're consistent. Every week it's like this.
Yeah.
Every week, man. So
363 yards rushing. I don't ever remember seeing a game like that. That is just absolutely amazing and phenomenal. And like you say, Sanders had a career day, 143 yards and a couple TDs, but Hurts surpassed them, and they got AJ Brown, they got Devontae Smith. So if the teams start going, okay, well, we got to stop this rushing attack, let's put everybody in the box and stop them, then he's got Devontae and AJ out there. They're gonna have career games coming up too, because after this game, most defensive coordinators are gonna be like, holy crap, we got to get everybody in the middle and stop this run. And look out for both those guys in the passing attack now. They're gonna have a field day because the defense won't be covering them.
No, because how can they? Like, you're just gonna have one-on-one coverages on some of the best receivers in the league. Yeah, no, they're just gonna eat them. They're gonna eat those defensive backs for dinner. They're just gonna be like, oh, this is great. This is awesome.
It's absolutely amazing. And look out. Okay, on the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers, Packers 4-8, and really looking like they are out of the playoff mix this year. Rodgers got hurt, had a rib injury. He's been dealing with some injuries this year, and he said he was in a ton of pain. He just could not function. So Jordan Love finally had his first extended play of this year, and looked good. Came in on I think 11 plays. He was able to get 10 points, was able to generate this offense. And is it time to give Love the ball and say run with it?
I think so. I think so. Like I honestly think so. I think it's probably best that the Packers just put Rodgers down and just sit him down because he is hurt and it was significant enough where he couldn't continue playing the game. So and also too, at some point in time, they're gonna have to figure out what do we have with this guy?
What are we gonna
Let's
do?
really
Yeah.
see the field.
Yeah.
Because Rodgers is not going to play forever.
Yeah.
And you did draft this guy for a reason, so you might as well see what you got.
Yeah. Roger says he doesn't want to sit down until they're mathematically eliminated, but
Oh, come on.
4-8, this team's not going anywhere. Jordan Love's just been riding the bench for the last couple seasons after being drafted. Rodgers is amazing and phenomenal, but I think it's time. I think they might as well see what Love has, get him the first team snaps in practice this week, and give him an opportunity and let him run the show. I think, I think they have an opportunity. They're going to Chicago. Chicago is massively banged up. Fields is out. Darnell Mooney they found out this today that he's out for the season. They lost their safety Eddie Jackson. They're not going anywhere. I think it's perfect to have Love come in and get an opportunity to generate this offense and see what he's got.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I understand what Rodgers is saying is mathematically out. Come on, man, you are out.
You're out.
4-8.
Yeah.
You're not pulling off a miracle and just like winning the rest of your games. That is not going to happen. So
no, it's not. No. Okay, so Philly hosts the Titans 10 a.m. The Packers go to Chicago. Also the early window 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Cowboys keeping pace with the Eagles, even though they're still a bit behind, but they had a victory on Thanksgiving Day, beating their division rival, the Giants, 28-20. They were really using Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard really well. Great games by both guys. CeeDee Lamb had another good game, and Dalton Schultz had 2 TD catches. Micah Parsons, brutal, great game, couple sacks. And Cowboys, they're for real and looking to lock up one of those wild card spots for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know, like in this game, it just seemed apparent to me that the Cowboys had more options on scoring than the Giants. Like the Giants, if one of their guys is not going, then they can't beat you. Like with Saquon Barkley, when they shut him down, because he only had 11 carries, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. But if they shut him down like that, it makes it really hard for the Giants to win games.
Yeah.
And that's what it seemed very, very apparent to me.
Yeah. Zeke, as I said, one of the best games of the season for him. Had a touchdown, 92 yards. Dak looked good, threw a couple picks, but was able to generate the offense they needed. As I said, Schultz, the tight end, got a couple touchdowns, but CD was moving the sticks and got over 100 yards. Dallas, I think all 4 teams in this division actually have a really, really good shot at making the playoffs. I know they're going to fight each other. They're going to all play each other twice, but they're all over 500 comfortably. And the Cowboys definitely look like the second best team in this division, but they seem like they're destined for the playoffs and probably a long run.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think the Cowboys right now have the number 1 defense in the NFL. Like they're the best. And Micah Parsons is unbelievable. That guy.
He's a beast. He is an absolute beast. It's amazing to watch him play. It's phenomenal. Dallas hosts the Colts. Colts just lost 24-17. It's in final now. Steelers go to 4-7. Colts go to 4-7-1. Colts played great in that second half, but their first half was terrible, and they couldn't make up for it. And also in the NFC East division, Giants, they'll host the Commanders. So that's a battle for third place in the division. Giants are 7-4, and the Commanders are 7-5. Washington, they won their third straight, 19-13 over Atlanta. Heineke did just enough to get the win through a couple TD passes. Brian Robinson looked good, had a great day. And Falcons just a very average day, only got one TD on the entire day. And it's amazing. This East Division has been pretty poor for the last few years, but this year, all four teams are destined for the playoffs. It sure looks like.
Yeah, definitely. All four teams destined for the playoffs. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I'm just impressed with Heineke.
Yeah.
Dude just figures out a way to win these games. He just figures out a way to win these games, man. So, like to a certain extent, Heineke actually reminds me of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Nice.
He's kind of like a quarterback like that, where he just figures out a way to win. And it might not be flashy or high scoring. He's going to get you that W.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he sure is. And Brian Robinson, don't know too much about Brian Robinson, but had a great game, 105 yards on the ground and another 20 yards through the air with a touchdown catching. Great game for him. And Washington, they're they're looking pretty solid. And as I said, they will play the Commanders. They're going to go to the Meadowlands to play the Giants this weekend. Atlanta host the Steelers, who just got the victory there. Okay, why don't we switch now to the NFC West? The leader of the division is the San Francisco 49ers. Their defense. We talked about the Cowboys defense now. The Niners defense. They are right neck and neck with them. This was an amazing display of superiority on defense, getting the shutout. This was the first shutout of the Saints in 332 games, going back to 2001. That was the longest streak in the NFL. And man, wow, this team, they can shut people out and shut people down.
Oh yeah, they shut them down. And Garoppolo didn't even have to do much. He was like, I just got to score a little bit, just a little. And and he did score a little, 13 points. And Garoppolo, he actually had a good game, 26-37, 222 yards, one touchdown. But I look at their team, especially on offense, and then you look at how well their defense is playing. They're pretty complete.
Yeah.
They're pretty complete. They're like you come up against 49ers when they hits the playoffs. That might not be a team you want to play.
Yeah, they're looking pretty amazing, just incredible. During this 4-game win streak, they have not allowed any points in the second half. Not any points in the second half. You're going to win most games if you shut teams down in that second half. They are the third seed in the NFC at 7-4, but you do not want to face this defense. And with Christian McCaffrey and all the offensive weapons they have now, pick your poison. You just, holy cow, it's going to be awesome. At the top of the NFC, there are some incredible teams.
Yeah, definitely. And the 49ers seem to be hitting their stride right now, especially the defense.
Yeah. The only thing that happened, unfortunately, to the Niners was Elijah Mitchell was placed on the injured reserve for the second time this year. He's got a serious knee injury that they say requires surgery. He's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Tough for him. Injured in the season opener, missed the first 7 games, came back on November 12th, had a couple games in, and back on the shelf. He set the 49ers rookie record last year with 963 rushing yards. It looks like he's going to be out until the playoffs. It was a blow. I'm sure they're very happy now, even happier that they went and got McCaffrey.
Oh yeah. Like getting that guy, period, is just going to make your team better. Sucks that Mitchell went down with an injury, but hopefully he'll be available at some point in time once the 49ers make the playoffs.
Yeah. The 49ers host the Dolphins in the late window Sunday. That's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to that battle. And then the Saints, they go to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks, and that's the Monday nighter 1 week from tonight. So that'll be fun to watch and break down a little bit. Seahawks, we mentioned them early in the show there. Let's talk about them a little bit. They sit second place in the West. That was definitely one of the games of the week. 40-34 in overtime for the Raiders. As I mentioned, Jacobs was incredible, but Geno Smith still looking fantastic, super accurate, finding his targets all the time. I'm impressed with the running attack. Kenneth Walker looked great. This team is fun to watch, and that was a hell of a battle. Seahawks easily could have won this game, except for Jacobs just being able to, run up the yards like that.
Yeah. Jacobs was the man possessed, and the Seattle defense couldn't find a way to stop him, which is what obviously led to the Raiders win. But you know what? Seattle's Metcalf had a great game, 11 receptions, 90 yards. Lockett had a great game, 3 receptions, 68 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks are good.
Yeah.
They're good. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Yeah. That rookie class that they have, I actually saw a stat that talked about some of the rookies leading categories in many defensive and offensive numbers. I failed to find that stat and get it all together for the podcast, but I want to feature it soon because they had the best rookie class, I think, in the NFL. They were much maligned for poor scouting and having some draft picks that didn't pan out over the last few years, but this year, for some reason, they were able to get a really, really high class, and it helped having these guys come in, fill some very important roles, and help this team do have a great season, unexpected season to many of the pundits.
Oh yeah, no, very unexpected, but you know what? Every once in a while, you get it right.
Yeah,
and it looks like this is the year that Seahawks got it right. It's nice.
Yeah, finally, yeah. The Seahawks go to LA to play the Rams in the late window, 1:05 start Pacific time, and the Raiders host the Chargers, which should be a great battle. 1:25 kickoff for that one. Speaking of the Chargers, man, they came back and had a huge win, saved their season probably with a very late touchdown. About 14, 15 seconds left on the clock. They got a TD from Eckler and then got a 2-pointer. They went for the 2-pointer to get the victory instead of tying it and trying their luck in overtime. Big call by Brandon Staley. Great move by Herbert. And they got a win that they really, really, really needed.
Yeah, got a win that they really needed. Herbert was my hero.
Okay.
Because of what he was able to do in that final minute.
Nice.
That was him. 35, 47, 274 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. No picks.
Yeah.
And that was very, very important for their win in this game. And yeah, I was surprised, honestly, that they're going for 2. Yeah. It's not just going to go for the safe bet and just go into overtime. Oh, I liked it. I go, no, that's gutsy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it pays off. And it did.
Yeah, it was super gutsy. It happened in another game we'll talk about a little bit later too. It's about the same amount of time on the clock, but very gutsy, but huge. I think, Staley looked at the team and realized that they had the weapons. They just had to make the right call. Gerald Everett is a very, very talented tight end, and he was able to find him for that 2-point convert, and to get the big victory over the Cardinals. Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury is on the hot seat. I hear that his job is in serious jeopardy. This team was supposed to contend this year, and there are 4-8 on the year. Kind of reminding me of how the Packers were supposed to contend and be right up there. Kyler Murray did miss a couple games, came back this game, but I think Cliff Kingsbury will be looking for another job very soon. I think his head's on the chopping block.
Yeah, I'd say so. And it doesn't help when your quarterback throws you under the bus, which is what he did.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like the formula and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, so you're just going to throw the head coach under the bus, eh? Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't see a marriage made in heaven there, and I don't see it happening much longer. It's too bad, but yeah, it's not working there, that's for sure. It has not been looking good. Luckily the Cardinals have a bye next game. They play next on December 12th, late 5:15 kickoff. And as I mentioned, the Chargers go to Vegas to play the Raiders at 1:25. So closing out the NFC West, the Rams, another team that was expected to be much better than they are. This team's done. You said it, I think last week. You said when Cooper Kupp went down, you can count these guys out. Now Matthew Stafford is out, and Aaron Donald got a high ankle sprain in this game, is out a few weeks. This team is totally done. I expected this actually to be even more of a blowout. I thought the Chiefs were going to put up 50 points on them. Maybe they took it easy on them because they knew. But this was 26-10, a lot closer than expected.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot closer than expected. Rams had this Perkins dude. And every time I heard his name, I kept singing a Big Smooth, Sam Perkins.
Oh,
nice. I'm like,
nice.
That's what I kept thinking.
Cool.
I'm like, oh, no. This
Love Sam Perkins. Oh, man. Maybe they're related. We should try to find out.
That's what I was thinking too, because I'm like, I wonder if Big Smooth is his uncle or something like that. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be awesome. But anyway, Mahomes, just a pedestrian, 27 to 42, 320 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and as long as it's a win, and it was.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, he puts up 300 yards just in his sleep. Doesn't even have to try. Yeah, it's incredible. I was actually fairly impressed with Bryce Perkins, especially he's a running quarterback as well. He was able to get out in space and get himself a few yards there. Threw a couple picks that really hurt him, and was probably one of the biggest differences. But I think he was probably thrown into the mix a little bit before he was ready. But this is another guy that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him. It looks like Stafford's out for another week or two, so maybe he'll get more of an opportunity to practice with the first team, and maybe we'll see a guy that could potentially go somewhere else that he might be featured.
Yeah, exactly. Like I saw good things from him in that game where I was like, he might have something, but obviously we need to see more. We need to see a bigger sample size than what he's been given so far. So if Stafford's going to be out for probably the foreseeable next game and maybe even the game after that, well, I guess we're going to see more of them.
We're going to see more of them, yep. As I mentioned, the Rams host the Seahawks, and the Chiefs go to Cincy to play the Bengals. That's a late kickoff, 1:25 on Sunday Pacific time. NFC North. Vikings remain on top with a 9-2 record. They beat the Patriots also on Thanksgiving. Kirk Cousins was great. Hawkinson was pretty good, and Jefferson was massive. Another incredible game from him, 139 yards and a touchdown on 9 catches. Dalvin Cook was held in check. He had 26 touches, but only 56 yards. So Patriots held him back. Patriots played quite well. This was a closer game than I expected. Mac Jones, I think he had a career numbers, 382 yards passing, a couple touchdowns. I was not expecting that from Mac Jones on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, no, he played exceptionally well. But the one thing that I expected from all the Thursday Thanksgiving games, that 1 or 2 of the games would be absolute blowouts.
Yeah.
And that is not what happened. No. I was super impressed with the games. I'm like, Yeah, everybody coming out here to play today. Oh,
Yeah.
this is good. This is good.
Yeah, that was
And yeah,
nice.
and like you said, Cousins was awesome. 30 of 37, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and then Jefferson was just his usual superhero self. Like, like that. He's right up there. He's got to be top 3 of receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
He is
totally.
that extremely talented.
Oh man, he is amazing. You just have to throw the ball up and he's bringing it down. Yeah, he's starting to better Randy Moss's numbers. He's starting to, get numbers in those first 3 seasons of his career that only the legends had. And yeah, I think this guy is, 1, 2, 3 right there. You can sort of interchange probably DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
and him. I think those 3 are the elite of the elite. And the Vikings must be thrilled that they were able to replace Stephon Diggs with Justin Jefferson. Incredible.
Yeah, and we're talking about Stephon Diggs. He's really good as well. And then they managed to find this guy. And it's like, a lot of people thought that trade was a mistake, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what about this kid? Justin Jefferson? I wonder if he's any. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh man, amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So and as I said, Vikings on top of the 9-2 record. Patriots still in hunt for a playoff spot, and they are 6-5. They are in tough though. They play the rival Buffalo Bills on Thursday this week, so that will be a tough test for the Patriots. Vikings host the New York Jets, and we'll talk about the Jets a little later. As I said, Mike White had a great game replacing Zach Wilson, and we'll see. In the NFC North, Lions sit second in the North, but they fell to 4-7. That was the other Thanksgiving Day game. They lost to the Bills 28-25. Tight game. Didn't, like you said, we expected some blowouts. I expected this one to be a blowout, but Josh Allen had a big day. Isaiah McKenzie and Stephon Diggs had touchdowns. Devin Singletary looked great, but Detroit was able to hang with them and almost pull out the win.
Yeah, Detroit was able to hang with them, almost pulled out the win. Goff had a great game, 23 of 37, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the one thing that I noticed is that the Lions defense didn't actually fail them.
Yeah.
Because it just could have been ugly. They could have been a complete blowout. But they held on, and they gave the offense a chance to win this game. Yeah. But at the same time, Allen willed his team to win because he was playing hurt, and he still ran the ball and was taking hits. Amazing. And I was impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't like sliding. He just wants to hurt guys and punish them when he's running across. Was able to get 78 yards and a touchdown on the ground. And he's banged up. So he's a warrior, and hopefully his warrior mentality and spirit doesn't get him hurt. But that was a gutsy performance by him.
Yeah, very gutsy performance. And then also, too, but him finding his favorite target at the end, Diggs, for that touchdown right there. That was big time. It was big time.
Yeah, that was massive. I'm really impressed with this Amon-Ra St. Brown. Huge game, 122 yards through the air and a touchdown. Even had a rushing attempt. And Jamal Williams, another great game, touchdown by them. And poor Lions, 4-7, but we've said it a few times, looking like they've turned this corner, and this is going to be a fun team to watch for years to come. I think look out playoffs, maybe not next year, but very soon. I think this team is rounding into form. Yeah,
and they got a head coach that they actually like. They play hard for,
yeah.
and he coaches them up well, and he cries because he cares. He cries so much.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't seen too many tears from Campbell this year, but he definitely cried a lot last year. That made me laugh every time I saw it. It was hilarious. Lions host the Jags in the early window, and as I mentioned earlier, the Bills play in the Sunday nighter in New England. So the Packers sit third in the North, 4-8. We mentioned them losing to the Eagles, and the Bears sit last in the North. Chicago is decimated with injuries right now. Justin Fields is out. They have no defense at all. It is ugly there. But oh yeah, and Darnell Mooney out for the season. Has to undergo ankle surgery. Their safety Eddie Jackson's out with a foot injury, and yeah, with Fields out, tough sledding for the Bears.
Yeah. Tough sledding. They're just getting decimated by injuries. So yeah, they're not going too much farther now.
No. Yeah, so Zach Wilson has to sit. He's young. I think he's got a future ahead of him, but he was a little overmatched this year. Mike White came in, and what a game he had. Very accurate, 315 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And yeah, he generated a really good victory for the Jets, 31-10.
Yeah. He did what Zach Wilson should be doing.
Yeah.
That's actually what he did. Winning games, looking like a professional quarterback, just getting it done. And Wilson had a great game. The receiver, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, the Jets obviously beat a very depleted Bears team, but they beat them.
Yeah.
They beat a team that they should.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Garrett Wilson's looking great. Amazing catches, a couple touchdowns, and yeah, the Jets I think surprised a lot of people having a decent year, and 7-4 in that AFC East, looking pretty solid. Okay, we finished NFC South. All 4 teams under 500. Bucks leading the way, 5-6, and but they lost in overtime to Cleveland. This is not the Bucks team that Tom Brady joined that first year. This is definitely a team that just does not really know how to win, and Cleveland gave them all the chances in the world to win this game, and they weren't able to. And yeah, I mentioned that catch by Njoku. Nick Chubb looked great as always, and yeah, big victory for Cleveland over Tampa Bay.
Yeah, big victory. I'm just gonna say it. Nick Chubb's he's my favorite running back. I love watching that guy. I love watching him play. Nice. 26 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. He was awesome. Njoku with that ridiculous catch. That catch was just utterly ridiculous. I love that catch.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and Brady wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But I gotta say, I think there's a real problem with trotting the old man out and having him pass for 40 attempts every game.
I know. Yeah,
there's no balance to their attack.
No, they have no running attack, and it's crazy. It's weird. They should not be relying on the old man to throw that much. He's going to set records for the most attempts in a season. It's insane.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane. I know he has a golden arm and everything, but it's very apparent to me that he needs balance for them to win games, and they haven't had it all season thus far.
They have not. No. I saw this amazing graphic that came up during that game. Nick Chubb is second all time in rushing average. He averages 5.3 yards per rush his entire career. This is all running backs with over 1,000 rushes. Jamal Charles leads the way with 5.38. Right behind Chubb is Jim Brown, 5.22, and Barry Sanders, 4.99. So look at that elite company that Chubb's in. Yeah, a little bit ahead of Brown and Sanders, 2 of the greatest running backs to ever exist.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 Hall of Famers. So as long as his current trajectory, he keeps playing up to the level that he can, that's a future Hall of Famer right there, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of talk around Cleveland about this game, but all of a sudden everything shifts now to Jacoby Brissett taking a seat and Deshaun Watson starting. He will finally get to play this coming week as his suspension's coming to an end. 11-game suspension, $5 million fine, many things that he had to do to get himself back on the field. And his return date will mark 700 days since he last played in a regular season game, January 3rd, 2021. I'm pretty upset about what he did and how sort of it becomes a slap on the wrist and not really, a lot of pain inflicted on him for all the pain that he inflicted on the women that he had sexual assault and misconduct charges against. I'm not going to be cheering for this guy. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to take a while for me to forgive this guy for what he's done. I can't believe the Browns handed him $230 million in guaranteed money. And I don't know. He's been in the facility for the last month practicing with the team. He probably will play pretty good right out of the chute. But what do you think we're going to see?
He's going to be rusty, you know what I mean? But it's going to take him a while to round into form, so to speak. But I'll tell you this much. If that guy does any other wrongdoing, he's out of the league.
Right.
He's definitely out.
Yeah.
So hopefully he learned his lesson. Hopefully he mended his ways. He got his second chance. This is it.
Yeah.
And also too, oddly enough, the Browns came to his rescue and gave him a whole ton of money to figure out his problems. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, and you could say to a certain extent, yeah, they were kind of complicit in that too as well, which is problematic.
Yeah, not great. Definitely not great. Yeah. I'm not sure how much the settlements cost him. He settled with almost every one of the complainants. And usually when they settle, they don't disclose the money figures. But, yes, it definitely would have cost him some money. But, it's tough for a guy that was that reckless and, causing that much grief in his community. I'm shocked that Cleveland would give 3 first-round draft picks and $230 million guaranteed, the largest guaranteed contract in NFL history, to a guy that hasn't demonstrated very smart thinking and just a reckless attitude.
Yeah, but I'm sure too that they're going to be keeping him on a very, very tight, short leash. Yeah. They're going to be watching him the Browns should be watching him like a hawk at all times.
Totally.
For as long as he wears a Browns uniform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Cleveland goes to Houston. Houston, worst team in the league, should be no problem probably getting a win, but as you say, yeah, he's going to be rusty, but we'll see how it all pans out. Tampa Bay hosts the Saints, and that's the Monday nighter, as I mentioned a little earlier. I mentioned Atlanta. They sit second in the South. They lost to the Commanders. Now they're at 5-7. The Panthers sit third at 4-8. They beat the Broncos 23-10. Sam Darnold was decent. DJ Moore was great. Deontay Foreman was awesome. And this team got another win with the new coach. Even Canadian Chuba Hubbard contributed with 65 yards on the ground. This puts another nail in the coffin of the Broncos and possibly the end of Nathaniel Hackett's tenure as a quarterback, as the head coach there. And I think they're having buyer's remorse going for Russell Wilson and getting him in place here, because this team's offensive performance this year has been so pathetic, unbelievable, just reaching new lows in Broncos organization history. This is a team that is in complete chaos and disarray.
The Broncos defense is really good. Here's a stat. Here's a stat that I heard,
Nice.
which I my jaw kind of dropped because I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. If the Broncos could just average or score at least 20 points per game, I believe they would be 8-2.
Wow. Unreal.
8-2. We're talking 20 points.
20 points, that's not a lot.
This is you can't even do that.
Jeez.
You can't score 20 points with Russell Wilson again.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So brutal.
And it's just that told me a lot. It told me exactly where they are. Now, with a new head coach, because obviously Nathaniel Hackett, you gotta get rid of that guy. I'm sorry. You failed. You failed miserably.
Failed
and spectacularly. So maybe with a new head coach, maybe Wilson can find his mojo again. But I'm sorry, but that thing is dead this year. He's done.
Yeah, so done. Crazy. Yeah, Broncos play the Ravens. Another loss there. And Panthers go to Seattle. That is they get a bye this week, and then they go to Seattle for the 11th to play them. Okay, let's just get into the AFC. Let's talk about the AFC East to start with. The Dolphins are sitting on top 8-3. They had an easy time of it with the Texans, as everybody does, but amazing numbers in that first half. They were up 30-0, 287 yards for Tua in that first half, and they kind of just shut it down in that second half. Most of the starters just didn't even bother playing. Texans got a couple of TDs late, but Dolphins are great, and still rolling along. Top of the division at 8-3. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. I love the fact that the Dolphins go, or probably the head coach probably said, okay, guys, listen, we're just going to score a ton of points in the first half. And then the rest of you can just take the night off. What do you say? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do that, coach. No problem. I'm sorry. Like, everybody in the NFL must look at the Texans and be like, ooh, well, that's a good one. I'm going to be able to rest half of that game.
It must be nice. Yeah, it was just a smoke show. They just crushed them in that first half. And I was thinking, oh, man, historic numbers for the Dolphins here. Already piled up about 300 yards in the first half, but they decided, let's not bother. We'll just rest them and easily coast in with the victory. Wilson's great. Hill and Waddle, he's got the weapons there. Defense is good. Yeah, this team's just still rolling along.
Yeah, you're just rolling along. Tua is still super accurate, 22-36, 299 yards, touchdown. Yeah. Easy win for the Dolphins. Easy win.
Texans, just worst team in football by far. Really good in line to get that number 1 overall draft pick. And we knew this was happening when they made that horrible move to getting DeAndre Hopkins out of there. We knew this thing was going to blow up in their face, and it's embarrassingly bad there right now. They better do as good a job as the Seahawks did drafting this past offseason and turn this thing around, because it's ugly there. And they might not even win 2 games this season.
It doesn't look like it. I was going to say that. It doesn't look like it. The feel of the team definitely doesn't feel like it. Like, it's just like, oh, well, you know what? We are bad. Yeah. We're just going to stay down here for a while.
Yeah. As I mentioned, they host Cleveland on the weekend. Dolphins go to the 49ers, which is going to be a hell of a battle. As I mentioned earlier, I'm looking forward to that game. I think that's going to be one of the games of the week.
Yeah. That's going to be a great game. Yeah, that's definitely one that I'm circling on the calendar.
Okay, the rest of the AFC East, we've mentioned the games already. The Bills sit at 8-3. The Jets are 3rd place, 7-4, and the Patriots 6-5. So it looks like the East in both the NFC and the AFC all four teams really have legitimate shots at the playoffs, and the Southern teams not probably making it except the division winner. Yeah, it's crazy how the mighty teams are in the East. Makes me kind of wish I was living in New York, somewhere around there, be able to catch some of the top teams in football week after week.
Well, yeah, because and then also too being able to cheer for your teams because come on, man, who would have thought that the Jets 7-4 really? Oh, okay, all right, like some
Yeah,
of the teams are kind of surprising by how good they've been.
amazing. Man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right for sure. Yeah. Okay, we mentioned the AFC West. The Chiefs are on top at 9-2. The Chargers sit in second with their big win. They are 6-5. Raiders sit at 4-7, and Broncos last at 3-8. AFC North has the Ravens in first at 7-4, even though they blew this game against the Jags. This was probably Trevor Lawrence's best game of his career. This was the other game that I mentioned earlier that came down to that 2-point conversion. They decided to go for 2 points with 14 seconds left on the clock, and they got the victory there. I think, yeah, Trevor Lawrence really might have turned a corner with this big victory that they do. And Ravens, in their 4 losses, all 4 games, they were up by double-digit leads and blew it. It's crazy how yeah, they're still an awesome team, but 4 losses, they were up by I think 2 touchdowns on all 4 of those games at some point.
yeah, and that is not good. That's a very telling stat because it tells me that against very good teams, the Ravens can't hold on to leads.
Yeah,
they can't do it, or even against Jags are not a good team, but they fought them every step of the way to get that win. And
yeah.
I agree with you with what you said. Like Lawrence was 29-37, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his favorite guy was Mr. Jones, 11 receptions, 145 yards.
Yeah.
He had a huge game.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely is a turning point game for Trevor Lawrence. I think that he can only build off this, and it's super positive.
Lamar Jackson decided to take to Twitter after the game. Someone, did you hear about this?
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, someone posted something on Twitter that Lamar didn't like. This isn't word for word, but this is the gist of what this guy said. When someone is asking for over 250 million guaranteed, like he is, games like this should not come down to Justin Tucker with a 63-yard field goal. Let Lamar go, and we'll spend that money on more well-rounded team. Lamar got really pissed off about that and sent out a tweet. This is what he basically said. Boy, STFU. You all be capping too much on this app, MFer. Never smelt a football field, have you? Never did shit. Eat a D and bleep bleep. And I think he took it down a little bit after he posted it, but he might get in a little bit of trouble for responding to this troll this way and telling him off. He shouldn't be on Twitter and look after a bad loss.
No, because it doesn't help. You're already heated because you lost. And yeah, he's going to provoke you. That's what fans do. Some of them are really good at it too. Like I got to tell you, I think what most like sports athletes should do during the season is turn the thing off.
Turn them off. Yeah.
Just turn it off because it's like, even if you're good, it's great to get praise. But if you're bad just the one game, you're just going to get heat. You're just going to get it. So why even have it on? Yeah. Because if you're not aware, if you don't look at it all the time, this doesn't affect you.
No,
it doesn't affect you.
You don't even know. Yeah, it won't even bother you. Yeah. So yeah, I think they should all be told that, stay off of it. And yeah, it's He definitely was mad. I said 63-yard field goals. It was actually a 67-yard field goal, which is, not easy. Justin Tucker's an amazing kicker, but that was a little too far. And I guess the Ravens fans were upset. But Lamar Jackson, one of the best players in the league. You can't fault him for any kind of losses.
Lamar Jackson, 16 to 32, 254 yards, 1 touchdown, 14 carries, 89 yards. Okay, come on, man.
Yeah.
So what this troll actually said is, I think we can get somebody better at quarterback. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna get? Who are you gonna get, buddy? Who would you like to have? Because everybody that could potentially be better than him, they're not letting go of that guy.
No,
he's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, I'm sad for Lamar. Hopefully he can stay off Twitter and any of those social media platforms, because he shouldn't let guys like that get to him. As I said earlier, Ravens host the Broncos early window. Jags go to Detroit early window too. The Bengals kept pace with Baltimore with their 7th win. They beat the Titans 2016. Burrow was good. Samaje Perine was great, and T. Higgins was awesome. The Titans, they were able to shut down Derrick Henry for the most part. He was stuffed on the ground. He did get some yardage through the air, and that was key. He had 17 carries for only 38 yards. That's only 2.2 yards per rush for one of the most dominant backs in the league. And that was the key, I think, to getting this win.
Yeah, that was definitely the key. The Bengals stopping Derrick Henry, stuffing the run was key to their victory, because, the Titans just couldn't generate that much offense. 16 points. And the Bengals didn't generate that much offense either. It was just 20 points, but it was enough to get them the win. And Perine was great in lieu of Mixon's injury. So he played fantastic. And unfortunately, the Titans just didn't have enough to get over against the Bengals.
Titans only got their touchdown when Derrick Henry got stripped as he was running towards the end zone. He got stripped. The ball fell into the end zone, and Treylon Burks jumped on it. So nobody really got credit in the stats when you look at it for the touchdown, but Burks was able to get that. The Titans have been distracted recently. Their offensive coordinator, Todd Downs, was arrested. He was arrested for speeding and DUI, and looks like he'll be probably facing some discipline, and could be a big distraction for this team. Not good to see your offensive coordinator involved in shit like this.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to see that, and especially when he's supposed to be an example.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a leader amongst these young guys. That doesn't help. It doesn't help at all.
No, not good. And the last and in this division in the North, the Browns and the Steelers both sit at 4-7. And let's just mention the South. We mentioned the Titans. They sit on top of the division. Even though they lost, they're still up there easily ahead. 7-4. Colts took a loss. They're 4-7-1, sitting in second. Jags are 4-7, and the Texans are last in the league. And that's the NFL story for Week 12.
Yeah, that again, great Week 12. Great Week 12. Great Thanksgiving games.
Yeah,
just very entertaining. Very entertaining. I was very entertained by all those games.
Yeah, I'm glad you were off and got it. I had to go home and PVR quickly, get through them. I had 3 games to watch before I went to bed. It was quite the feat, but I did it. But thoroughly entertaining games. Really fun.
Yeah, I was impressed, and especially with the Bills-Lions game. I wasn't expecting that game to be that close, or just to come down to the wire. And the Bills have to fight for every inch to win that game.
Yeah.
And again, Josh Allen, super impressed that he managed to keep battling like that, playing hurt like that too.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, it was super awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we touch on the NBA story? There was a game yesterday by Ivica Zubac. He scored
Ooh.
31 points on 14 of 17 from the floor, hauled in 29 rebounds, including 12 offensive, 3 blocks, and 3 assists as the Clippers won 114-110. He's trying to make up for the loss of both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and had one of those absolutely incredibly monster games. We don't see offensive numbers like this very often.
No, no, and then yeah, he was a monster. He was an absolute monster. 29 rebounds. That's not easy to do. He almost had as many rebounds as points.
Yeah,
That's I was super impressed by that. I'm a little bit concerned though with the Clippers
yeah.
because my question is, what is happening with Kawhi Leonard? Like what's going on there?
Injury prone, isn't he? Yeah, he
Like
sure
like
has suffered so
he,
many injuries in the last few years. It's been
like
crazy.
like he's in the lineup and he's out of the lineup. Like it just hasn't been anywhere close to consistent. Like
No.
nowhere close to consistent. So whatever injury that he was dealing with, last year, now going into this year, which he was supposed to, hopefully have figured out, is obviously it might be a lot more serious than anybody knows.
Yeah, they're sure not divulging a ton of news about it, but
No,
yeah,
they are not.
I don't
Concerning.
know. Yeah, it's very concerning because he's missed so much time since he's been in LA. It's been crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like he really hasn't played that much with Paul George, considering that they've been teammates for a while now.
Yeah, exactly. Um, this was the first game where a player had 30 points, 25 boards, and shot at least 80% from the field since Shaq did it in 2004, and only the third player to have 31 points, 29 boards, 3 blocks in a single game. He's only the third player to ever do that, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the last and since 1978. So he even fouled out in this game. If he didn't foul out, he might have even pushed those numbers even higher. Yeah, just a beast. And he's usually not known for being such a beast because there's a lot bigger centers out there. But this was an incredible performance.
Yeah, incredible performance by the young man, and you know what? Well deserved. He has slowly gotten better every year he's been in the league,
Yeah.
and this is just a testament to how much better he's gotten. So
Yeah.
good for him.
Raptors had a huge win tonight. They were able to get Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, and Delano Banton back in the lineup, and they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. The lowest defensive total for any opponent for the Raptors this year. They held them to 88 points. They won 100-88. Pascal Siakam led the way with a double-double. Only 30 minutes. He had 18 points and 11 boards. OG was phenomenal on defense. He held Mitchell to his lowest point total in a long time. 8 points for Donovan Mitchell in this game. And this was absolute amazing performance by the Raptors to get a big victory over Cleveland, who's been phenomenal this year.
Yeah, the Cleveland has been very good, but the Raptors, they're a tough team to handle because they have length everywhere.
Yeah.
There's at no point, there's no position where they don't have length, and that will bother teams. That will bother anybody if you have that incredible amount of length and it's just everywhere. And so defensively, the Raptors will always give teams problems. Always.
Always. You're right. Yep. Mitchell was 3 for 11 from the field. Only had 1 free throw, 1 for 1 on 3 throws, and only 2 assists. This game snapped a streak of 100 and 21 straight games with 10 or more points. 8 points held down Mitchell tonight. Great performance by the Raptors, and yeah, look out. I watched the Mavs on the weekend. I got to see them both play the Raptors and the Bucks. They have lost 4 in a row, and they're looking in trouble, but they're reportedly very, very close to signing 4-time All-Star Kemba Walker to a new deal. Kemba's struggled, as you know, and most people know, really had a problem keeping healthy with knee injury troubles. That lost Jalen Brunson this offseason has really harmed them. They need someone to come in and handle the ball. Spencer Dinwiddie has been trying, but I think Kemba Walker is where they're hoping to turn to get him to handle the ball and help out. This team looks a little lost right now.
Yeah. And hopefully he's healthy enough just to spell off Luka Doncic. I think that's really what they need him to do. Yeah. Just to be efficient with the ball handling duties, and just so that Doncic can get a rest.
Totally.
So you can get a breather. And if he can do that, and if he can do that effectively, I think that would alleviate a lot of the Mavs problems.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. As I mentioned about Avata Zubac's game, I noticed that this day in history, November 28th, 1988, Magic Johnson had a phenomenal game. 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 20 assists in a win over the Sixers. There have been only 3 other such games in history with 30 plus points, 20 plus assists, and 10 plus rebounds. And that there's only been 3 players to post them. Can you name any of the others?
Oh, this is going to be a big guess. Steve Nash won?
No. 2 guys are super famous for triple doubles.
Oh, okay. So Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe Nash, because I know that Nash has had huge assist numbers. So that's why I thought him.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Russell Westbrook did it in 2021 when he was with Washington. 35 points, 21 assists, and 14 rebounds.
Oscar Robertson, probably.
Oscar Robertson, yeah. The Big O, 32 points, 20 assists, and 15 rebounds back in 1961. And one of your favorite players in the NBA right now, a guy that's we just mentioned, we just talked about.
What, Jalen Brunson? No. Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Yes.
And he did it also last year. 31 points, 20 assists, and 12 boards in a win over Washington. So pretty elite company, pretty amazing. And great to see. There's some milestones that are coming for a lot of players in this coming week. LeBron is chasing down a lot of legends. He's months away from getting the all-time scoring record, but he needs only 20 assists to pass Magic Johnson for 6th time on the all-time assist list. He's probably about 3 or 4 games away from that. The Lakers do have 4 games on their schedule this week, so he might be able to capture that. Let's see. He's about to pass Wilt Chamberlain for the most 30-point games in history. He only needs 3 more 30-point games to pass the legendary Wilt Chamberlain. And then I've got Kevin Durant chasing down the scoring records. It looks like he's going to pass quite a few players in the coming weeks. He passed Kevin Garnett this past week for 18th on the all-time scoring list. His next target in sight is John Havlicek. He only needs 255 points to pass him, and he's on pace to reach number 10 all time. Looks like he'll pass Moses Malone, who sits in the 10th overall position for most points in NBA history. So, yeah, both KD and LeBron chasing down some big names.
Yeah. The thing that's just amazing about LeBron is the fact that he's going to pass Magic Johnson in assists. What?
Yeah, yeah,
It's shocking. It's
yeah.
shocking.
Yeah,
Shocking.
passing Magic Johnson and passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and
Abdul-Jabbar.
scoring, like, yeah, like be able to actually be ahead of both of them. It's yeah, phenomenal and shocking, and yeah, he's definitely just somebody that we just can't even believe what he's accomplished in his career.
Yeah, because like when other players say, well, they clearly developed LeBron in a lab. Sometimes you got to wonder, did somebody do that?
No kidding.
Incredible.
Yeah, no kidding. So incredible. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, that's it for the NBA story for me. Anything else you need to mention? You want to mention?
Oh, no, just that like two of the top teams in the NBA right now, still like the Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics, and they're just rolling. They're rolling,
Okay.
and I'm very surprised with how the West is going. There's an extreme amount of parity in the West.
Yeah.
Like the amount of games that separate like 1 through 6 or 7 is like 1 or 2 games. Like it is ridiculous.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been super tight there all year. I've been surprised by a lot of the teams. Warriors are starting to creep up finally, but yeah, they've won 3 in a row. But yeah, so many of the teams are bunched up incredibly.
Yeah, and the one team that I've recently been tuning into a little bit more because they're just great to watch. It's the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings are just, I'm impressed, man. I'm just like, I'm watching them play and I'm like, these guys are fun.
Yeah.
This is great to watch. And De'Aaron Fox is killing it so far.
Oh man, he's having a great year, isn't he? Yeah, he's killing it big time. Yeah. No, that's amazing. Yeah, I didn't think we'd ever say that, but Kings are fun to watch right now. They are very fun. That team's got a lot of potential, and they've got a lot of young guys that are looking great.
Yeah, they really do. And just them getting Sabonis. I know that they had to give away Halliburton. I was really too keen on that, but now I'm looking at the trade and going, it works.
Yeah,
it really works. So,
yeah,
I'll give credit where credit's due.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That was a very controversial move because Halliburton's gonna have a great career, but yeah, they've been able to make that work for them, and both teams are happy. So good on them. Let's finish with the UFC. We didn't have a card this past Saturday, but we do have one coming up this Saturday. This is from Orlando, Florida, and the main event is a striking battles dream. We will not see any takedowns in this fight, and Kevin Holland, coming off his loss to Khamzat Chimaev, almost retired, said that was it for him. Gets a really game opponent in Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. This will be fun. I can't wait for the main event.
Yeah, this him fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson couldn't be. It is the most different fighter than what he just fought against Khamzat Chimaev, who just wants to grapple you and take you to the ground. Where Stephen Thompson is just going to point fight you. Yeah. And it's going to be really, really hard to find him with your strikes because he's defensively very savvy, very sound, and he's just hard to hit. So Kevin Holland's going to have to incorporate a very good game plan to track him down, cut off the octagon, and trap him so that he can hit him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. I think they're both going to land some heavy shots, and they're going to both. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm super excited. Great stylistic matchup. Thompson doesn't want to grapple anymore. He's approaching 40, and he doesn't want to fight like that anymore. So this was nice of the UFC to put a guy in that just wants to stand and bang too. It'll be fun. Co-main event, two guys in the welterweight division. RDA, Rafael dos Anjos, has had a phenomenal career, still going at it. And Bryan Barbarena will bring it too. This will be a fun fight as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a great fight. Both guys love to bang, especially Bryan Barbarena. I think this is going to be a knockout, drag out affair. Yeah. I think you'll see both these guys fighting at all levels, and it's going to be a very competitive, exciting fight to watch.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Derek Brunson is hurt and cannot fight Jack Hermanson, so they've brought in Roman Dolidze. Dolidze's tough and had a great career so far. I think this will be a great fight at middleweight. Both guys are going to bring it. Eric Anders and fighting one of the Dawkins brothers, Kyle Dawkins, the middleweight brother, and that'll be nice to kick off the main card with. And yeah, lots of great fights on the undercard as well. I'm looking forward to seeing the Canadian Mark Ducasey against Michael Johnson. Clay Guida is back. I watched Clay Guida fight Diego Sanchez earlier today. I just needed to watch that fight again because one of the best fights in UFC history. And Clay always brings it. They call him the Energizer Bunny, and he goes in there and wants to throw him the whole night long.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to beat him with endurance. His stamina is legendary. He's never going to get tired. He's going to keep coming at you.
Yeah, exactly. And Darren the Damage Elkins, he's going to bleed a lot, but he's going to come forward and keep fighting. And it's going to be fun. He's always a blast to watch. The following weekend, we've got the UFC 282. Just announced before or just after we did our last podcast. There was supposed to be a rematch between why is the name escaping me? Glover, yeah, and Prochazka.
And Yuri Prochazka.
And Prochazka messed up his shoulder really bad and could not fight. They offered Glover to fight Magomed Ankalaev, and he said that it was too short a notice to get ready for such a different opponent. So they have given Jan Blachowicz the task of trying to get the interim title belt, and this will be a hell of a fight. Everyone I think is afraid of Ankalaev, but Blachowicz has taken on the task, and this will be the interim belt. I think Glover gets the chance at whoever wins this fight in a few months. But yeah, what do you think of this matchup that they just put together?
I think that's the best that he could have done on short notice, and I think that was very well done. I do want to circle back to Yuri Prochazka's injury. Apparently, this is pretty bad. It was one of the worst injuries anybody's ever seen.
Jeez.
With whatever he did to his right shoulder. What okay, so we're talking about decades of people seeing injuries of every sort of kind, and this is the worst one they've ever seen. For as far as I'm concerned, that means Yuri's probably going to be out for more than half a year. It's probably going to take him 8 to 9 months to recover from this injury.
Yeah,
it's going to take a long time.
I've seen some of the reports, and they say it
really bad.
It could be career threatening. They say it's that bad.
Yeah, so I give him a lot of credit where credit's due, where he just said, I got to give up the belt. I'm not going to hold up the division. I thought that was super honorable for him to do. Very and cool. Also, too, kind of scary for him to know now that his career is in serious jeopardy, right? In serious jeopardy. Oh. And also, too, I wish more fighters would do the honorable thing like he did, not like TJ Dillashaw, but, like what Yuri Prochazka did. And also, too, knowing that there was no way that he could continue to fight anyways. He knew that.
Yeah.
Right?
Brutal, yeah. Paddy Pimblett fights on the co-main against Jared Gordon. There's already been a lot of war of words. There was a hilarious post on Twitter by Paddy Pimblett. He was out walking his dog, and his dog couldn't wait, went right on the neighbor's lawn, and I guess it wasn't the type of poo that you can pick up with a bag. So he went and knocked on his neighbor's door, and his neighbor has a Ring camera, and he said, "Hey, I guess when he rang, it goes to the person's phone, and it was a woman, and she's like, "Hey, are you Patty the Batty?" And he said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I just came to knock on your door to tell you that my dog had a shit that is just tough. Wondered if I could borrow your hose or something." Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl was so excited to talk to Patty that she said, don't worry. I'll clean it up when I get home. I'm 5 minutes away. I'll be able to come and deal with it. Don't worry. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I hate this. I just couldn't do anything about it. I felt really bad. And it was super funny to watch this whole exchange on this woman's Ring camera. It was super funny. I recommend anybody watching and listening, try to find it on Twitter. It'll make you laugh.
No, of course. And also too, like he's a funny dude. He's a funny dude. So that's cool.
Yeah, he's got a good personality. Yeah. This 282 is super stacked. Robbie Lawler's on there with Santiago Ponzinibbio. Darren Till comes back. Bryce Mitchell. We've got just so many good fights on this card. I'm sad not to see the Teixeira Prochazka 2, but we've got Rosenstrike against the big Dawkins on the prelims, and Joaquin Buckley is on the card. On and on and on and on. This is going to be super fun to watch in a couple weeks.
Yeah, super strong card. Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, especially Joaquin Buckley against Chris Curtis. It's a great fight.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic fight, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. It's gonna be a great card.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, that's it for me. Another great podcast as always. Fun to cover the weekend of sports, and yeah, we only got 3 weeks till Christmas, a couple weeks till we're on holidays, and I cannot wait for that. It can't come soon enough.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. It can't come soon enough, but you know what? It's gonna come quick.
Yeah.
Because before you know it, we're on holidays. And then before you know it, we're back to work.
No, don't talk about that already. Jesus. Not for a long time till we're back to work. It's a while. So
yeah, it is a while. That's true. We do get a significant amount.
It was funny to just bump into you today. That doesn't happen too much, but nice that we were just two ships that ended up in the same spot at some point today. That was great.
Yeah, no, that was funny. It was funny too that you managed to beat us to the spot first.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, of course you did. Of course, makes sense.
yeah, that was great. Yeah, so okay, man. Well, I hope your week goes well. Good luck driving in the snow tomorrow. I heard we're not going to get hit with it until the afternoon, so on the commute home. So drive extra careful, and yeah, good luck out there. It's always tough on that first snow day. It seems like everybody doesn't really know how to drive in it around here, so there's a bit of chaos around the Lower Mainland.
Yeah. No, I fully expect there to be chaos. So you be careful out there as well, and I know I'll be exercising caution once it starts snowing.
Okay, man. Cool. All right. Well, keep in touch. We'll talk through the week, I'm sure. And yeah, thanks again for doing this.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll see you next Monday.
Okay. Sounds good, buddy. Cheers. Good night.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for sticking in. We came under 2 hours this time. Great. Appreciate your support. Always appreciate the support of our partners and sponsors. I want to thank Anchor.fm for all their great work, posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. They call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast, and I agree. Go to Anchor.fm. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. and the V350 stick is a must-have for anybody in your family that plays the game. Pampas and Possibilities, designers of West Coast pretty things for your home. Get them involved, and you will not be sorry that you did. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. You can find lots of products on our website and purchase them at discounted rates. So, as I said, yeah, thanks for sticking in. Check out our websites and tell your friends, tell your family, and we will see you. We'll see you actually tomorrow night. Got a podcast with Trevor Jones, and a week from tonight, we've got Jason Cameron doing a weekend wrap up of sports as usual. So, love ya. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. Have a nice week.